Welcome to the weekend. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. So, what's your credit card debt like, this month? How about adding another 44 trillion to 44 trillion? That sounds about right. From the Independence Institute, economist extraordinaire Linda Gorman, thank you for joining us. And a new little organization we've spun off. You know how Mary Tyler Moore spun off, Rhoda and Lou Grant, and then Happy Days. You got Laverne and Shirley, and your favorite, Joni Loves Chachi. Absolutely. Amy Oliver Cooke from Mothers Against Debt. First of all, I just need a number. How much debt do we have as a nation? What's the clock up to right now? Do we know?
13 trillion and counting, but that's just the debt that we have incurred. That doesn't include unfunded liabilities like Medicare, Medicaid. You're talking real numbers like 110 trillion roughly. I mean, it's so enormous.
I don't know what it means.
To put it into perspective, you could take every good and service produced in the U.S. over the next decade, and it still wouldn't pay it off.
Let's try this again, because I ain't good with numbers. I went to one of the government schools. So tell me, you're telling me that we could take everything we produce
in the U.S. economy,
every piece of paper, every pen, every glass of water, everything, and spend all of that money that we were going to buy everything with, and use it to
pay for our political official spending binge. Yes.
Yeah. Now, for a decade.
Or more, depending on what. Nobody really knows what the total number is. That's the annoying part, because they don't care. They'll be dead.
I don't care. My kids are going to be so messed up anyways. Let them take care. Now, you decided to do something a little different with this, because we wonky types, we don't talk about numbers very well. We like to talk about it. We'd like to do nice papers about it. We need to talk to each other about it. But the deficit doesn't get people excited. Lindsay Lohan gets arrested for getting drunk. We like that. We can understand that when it comes to the issue that's going to literally destroy the country. Yeah. It's just not exciting. You decided to take a different tact.
Yeah, I actually did. I was actually just thinking about to get all of the sort of Sex in the City women just turning it into boxes of shoes. How many boxes of shoes could you buy if you didn't have this debt? Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. Mothers Against Debt, and we've been lucky to partner with a couple of folks, Spending Revolt and Bankrupting America, to talk about this issue. And really what we did is we brought it to the kitchen table. So what does $13 trillion mean? I mean, there is not a calculator big enough to even figure that number. So you have to get the big red calculator and make sure you get 12 zeros behind it. So what we did is decided, and especially as a mom, and Linda's a mom as well, my kids...
Not that she knows it.
Yeah, true. And I also wanted my kids to know that they better start working right now, because they've got this huge amount of money that they have to pay off. And so we did a little video, and at the time the debt was about not even quite $41,000 a person. And now if you were born today, every single child born in America, we need to hand them a checkbook and a crayon and say, start writing, because you owe $44,000.
Well, what was different here, though, is, I get it. We are bankrupt. Our credit cards are maxed out. In fact, they're not even our credit cards, they're our kids' credit cards. I kind of get that point, but we don't see this as a female issue, because let me be sexist. You ladies like to talk about softer, wonderful things like raising kids. We like talking about defense and blowing things up, and you guys want to worry about raising your kids. They raise themselves. I saw it in the Jungle Book. They'll be fine. Why is this a mother's issue?
Who maintains your household budget?
I do.
And you do all the shopping and spending. You make all the spending decisions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I delegate it.
Delegate it. Correct.
I have a service team that I delegate to.
Yes.
And they have points they have to do. But yeah, I'm the one who goes through and it says, I need you to go to this store and buy this cleanser because it's on sale.
I know that she follows your directions exactly. As the spending team, I've got to say that one of the reasons I think women get excited about this kind of thing is we follow budgets. But from our lovely government officials this year, we don't even have a budget for the U.S. government.
And that is so true.
That's a basic dereliction of duty. I understand basic dereliction of duty. My teenager understands basic dereliction of duty, which is what happens if she spends more money than she's got and I don't fund it. She doesn't go to the movies for the rest of her life.
As a whole, women are more emotionally driven than they are driven on policy that might be on a rational basis. Usually there's something more, there's an emotional hook that grabs women more than men. Am I being sexist here, or am I being right?
I think you're absolutely right. And over the weekend I said, it is great that we always win on the economic issue because, frankly, I am a better steward of my money than government is of my money. And I think that's been proven time and time again. So all the white papers, it's all the intellectual ammunition. We win on the economic arguments, we win on the freedom arguments, but we tend to lose it on the moral or the emotional argument. And one of the things I heard, I love this line, there is a moral case to be made, as if this was some sort of newsflash. There's a moral case to be made for you keeping your money. Yes, by the way, because if government takes a dime out of my pocket, it is a dime less than I can use to raise my children. What government says is that its priorities.
You and your
I
children.
know those darn kids. I've got 3 of them, and to keep them off of
Three that you know of.
Well, trust me, I do know. No.
Right. So you tried to frame this a different way. You put out a little Facebook or YouTube video, which I just love. A really short little thing. I want to show it now, but the idea is we've got to find a way to talk about these issues outside of numbers, because we don't get numbers. People don't know the difference between millions and billions and billions and trillions and whatever comes after trillions. I don't know. So let's take a quick peek. Here's a little thing you'll find on YouTube from MAD, Mothers Against Debt. It just makes me want to have more kids. I don't know what it is.
Well, you need to have them work so they can pay off that debt.
But you're out of date. You put this video out just a few months ago.
Right.
It's not $40,000 for every man, woman, and child in debt. It's
almost
44.
40. Yeah,
it's
44.
over 44.
Here's the whole thing. The paradigm that has been really perpetuated for so long and is one of the largest hoaxes that has ever been perpetuated on the American people is that government spending is for the children. Well, you know what? It's not. Government spending is not a family value. Every dime it takes, it's a dime out of my pocket that I could otherwise use to raise my kids. It says that paradigm of it's for the children essentially says that government priorities are more important than my family priorities. And that's really where women, mothers, you can talk about this around the kitchen table, because that's what government spending means to us.
But isn't there a role for government debt? I mean, we go to war, we want to win the war, we're going to go into debt. We did it during the Civil War, we did it during World War II, we have battles now that we're waging. Aren't there legitimate reasons, let's just keep it on the federal level, then I want to bring it to Colorado, aren't there legitimate reasons for a country, our country, to go into debt?